in their last group match, 23 goes to 4. They played against Montenegro in the quarterfinal the day before yesterday, and a well-deserved victory once again for the Hungarians, especially in the defensive play. They were brilliant. 11 goes to 8 was the final score. We already have 4 final scores from today's program. In the classification for the 9th place, Serbia beat Romania by 17 goes to 1, so at least the Serbs clinched spot number 9. For the 11th place, the Netherlands beat Israel 17 goes to 7, so the Dutch finished in 11th place. And the classification matches for the places 5 to 8, Greece defeated Montenegro 14 to 12, so Montenegro still don't have the berth for the World Championships. And France over Georgia 7 goes to 5, so France are already at the World Champs. Now the first swim off, and it's won by the Spaniards. So they have the first possession. And now he's the captain, Felipe Perune, who gives the ball. Well, some Spanish fans also here at the Spalding Arena, but the majority of the fans have come from Hungary. Perune. Now it's a 5-meter penalty. Miguel de Toro managed to make the turn, and he was fouled. Daniel Angyal with the first personal foul of the match. And now it's a great chance for, actually, Alvaro Granados, the man who missed that penalty 2.5 years ago in the Duna Arena. And that time, Csoma Fogel saved. This time the left post saved Hungary. So the score remained goalless, and history repeats itself in a way. Actually, not a save by Fogel, but another missed penalty against the Hungarians by Granados. Besides that, I don't remember to miss any penalties by Alvaro Granados. Now this time no foul on the center. So once again Spain have the possession. It's Unai Aguirre, the young goalkeeper, who pass the ball forward to Alvaro Granados. Larumbe, the first exclusion foul of the game. So Hungary now with 5 men. That's an extra player advantage for Spain. Let's see what the Spaniards can do in this situation. They missed the 5-meter penalty, but they score from this extra player situation. And the goal scorer is, of course, Alvaro Granados. Spain take the lead. And Granados, the player of one of the players of Barceloneta, regular Champions League participants, made it 1-0. This is goal number 13 already for Granados, the top scorer of the Spanish team in the tournament. Angyal gets the call. Christian Manhertz was for a while in the center position, but it's now Toni Niemetz. Gets the ball now, and he scores! A great center shot goal by Toni Niemetz. The Ferencváros center makes it 1-0. There's a pass from Adam Nagy, and Aguirre is beaten for the first time. And Toni Niemetz scores his 4th goal in the tournament. Great job by Niemetz, who is also a former OST and Vasas player. So it's 1-0, Perune. Camera. And an action shot goal. Soma Vogel beaten for the second time. And the goal scorer this time, Bernard Sanahuja. And Spain have the lead for the second time. Sanahuja is a player of Sabadell, the team which managed to win the Land Euro Cup last season. And Sanahuja actually scored 4 goals in the 2 encounters against Telimar Palermo in the final. So he was one of the key players of the team. Adam Nagy has to find a teammate. And almost another action shot goal, but in the end, Aguirre managed to grab the ball and also kiss to the ball. That was save number 1 in the match. Alberto Munaris. 9 seconds to the shot clock. And the block shot. That's what the Hungarians desperately needed. They had an almost perfect defensive play against Montenegro the day before yesterday. And also Zsolt Varga, the head coach, was satisfied with that part of the game. Not fully satisfied with the offensive play. He said they need to improve on that against Spain. Zalanki's first attempt. It's now an exclusion from Hungary. Gergő Fekete is out for 20 seconds, so for the second time, Spain have the power play. Sanahuja, Granados, Perrone. Sanahuja. And a great power play goal by the Spaniards. Roger Tahu on the score sheet. Cool finish by the Spanish center. Tahu, who is also a player in Barcelona, but not in the team of Barceloneta, plays for CN Barcelona. Actually a former player of Barceloneta, 25 years of age. And that's goal number 1 for him today. Goal number 10 in total in the tournament. Gurian. Molnar. This is the first exclusion from the Spanish team. 3 personal fouls already in the Hungarian team, and this is the first one in the Spanish team. Burian. That is also a great move, but this time Aguirre, the Spanish goalkeeper, managed to save. That could have been goal number 2 for Toni Niemet, but he missed the chance. Granados. Munaris. That's a free throw. And Vogel had to make the save. The foul was committed outside the 6-meter line. It could have been goal for Spain. Save number 1 for Vogel. He also needed that. Just an ordinary foul, so no exclusion this time. De Toro takes the free throw. 7 seconds to the shot clock. Granados tries to do something, he's fouled. Now another block by the Hungarians, but this way another 20 seconds for Spain. Still 3-1 for the world champion. Inside the last 3 minutes of the first quarter. One-timer and another block. But the Hungarians have only managed to score once so far in the match. That is a block by Toni Németh. Zalánki. Vigvári. It's Burján, and now Hungarians only have 9 seconds on the shot clock. They need to do something. And Aguirre with the save. That's a corner throw. Adam Nagy made the attempt. Who signed for Ferencváros this summer from the team of Szolnok. Zalánki. The free throw. And the block by the Spaniards this time. Great block by Álvaro Granados. So here's Zsolt Varga, who replaced Tamás Merc at the bench of the Hungarians right after the World Championships, when the Hungarians in Budapest actually only finished 7th. That's another exclusion. So once again Spain in the power play. Vigvári is out, his first personal foul. Five seconds on the shot clock. And once again the block by the Hungarians. So the defensive play is all right by the team in the white caps, but they still managed to score only once in the last 80 seconds of the first quarter. Toni Németh still the only Hungarian goal scorer. Fekete. Seven seconds on the shot clock. Zalánki. The block by the Spaniards. Now we are inside the last minute in the first period. Granados. That could be a steal for Hungary, and there it is. Christian Mohetz grabbed the ball, and now he's looking for a teammate. Looks like no chance for fast break for Hungary. Burján. Burján is fouled, and Granados is excluded. Hungary in the extra player advantage. Boris Margeta asks for the ball. And the cap has to be replaced. That was the foul committed by Granados. So that's his first personal foul. And Adam Nagy has the spare cap now on the head, so play can move on. And it's a 6-on-5 situation for Hungary. They are looking for their second goal. Zalánki. Burján. Mohetz. Burján, Zalánki, Mohetz. And Hungary score in the very last moment of this attacking play. And captain Szilárd Jancsik, who had 5 attempts and 5 goals the day before yesterday against Montenegro, scores his first today. That was a perfect match by him on a Tuesday against the Montenegrins. He has now 9 goals to his name in the tournament. So 7.3 seconds to go in the first quarter. And once again an exclusion from Hungary. Daniel Angel is out, and the Spaniards rather keep the ball. They hope to win the second sprint as well, and that way they will be still in the power play after the restart. And action for the Spaniards. So the second quarter is about to begin. 5 different goal scorers so far. And in the sprint, this time, captain Szilárd Jancsik against Martin Famera. And Spain desperately need to win this in order to keep the power play, but the Hungarians clinch the ball, so no more power play. And the Hungarians are pushing forward to level the score. Zalanki. Great support by the Hungarian fans. Fekete. 5 seconds on the shot clock. And the Hungarians only managed to find the side of the net. A couple of the Hungarian fans already shouted a goal. It was never a case. Still 3-2 for Spain. Larumbe. Perrone. Sanauja. Sanauja with only 3 seconds on the shot clock. Blocked by the Hungarians, but the Spaniards still have the possession. Leave on another 20 seconds. Larumbe. And the first exclusion foul of the second quarter. Spain once again in the power play. Perrone. Larumbe. Perrone. Larumbe. Really quick moves by the Spaniards. Vogel made the save, and then the block. Hungary survived once again in the man-down situation. There's the big save by Soma Vogel. And then Mahertz made the block. So still 3-2. The teams are yet to score in the second period. Mahertz. That's an easy save by Unai Aguirre, save number 5. Over 70% Aguirre this time in the save efficiency. Munariz, Larumbe, Sanauja, Perrone, 5 seconds on the shot clock. And with the head, Soma Vogel makes save number 3. That's a spectacular save by the Hungarian goalkeeper. Larumbe. Mahertz committed a foul. Sanauja. That's the latest exclusion from Hungary. And the Spaniards this time managed to score. So they regained the 2-goal lead. And the goal scorer for the second time, Roger Tahu, who was fouled by Gergő Fekete, and Fekete has 2 personal fouls to his name. That was the 7th major foul that the Hungarian player has committed in this match. No mistake by Tahu. Burian. Jasik. Zalaki. Gergő Burian. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Zalaki is fouled. Burian. Német. Német didn't manage to possess the ball, so no exclusion. No Balázs Henry, no Tamás Mezei anymore in the Hungarian team, so only Toni Német is the only classical center in the squad now. And meanwhile, the Spaniards have De Toro and Tahu as well. That was a one-timer by Perone. Boga didn't have to touch the ball. So the Hungarians are still looking for the first goal in the second quarter. Burian. And that's a 5-meter penalty. Perone is wondering about that, but that was the foul. An obvious foul by the captain. So Hungary with the chance to reduce the gap between the teams. Christian Manhertz against Unai Aguirre. And that's a great goal by Manhertz. Goal number 3. Halfway through the second quarter, now only a 1-goal gap in favor of Spain. And Christian Manhertz scores his first today. That's goal number 15 in the tournament. Manhertz, who was the hero of the match against Croatia at the Olympic Games, scoring 7 goals. The player of OSC. 1 goal apiece in the second period. Munaris. Larumbe. Perone. Larumbe, Munaris. 4 seconds. And Larumbe. Another amazing block by the Hungarians. They are kind of a specialists in that, and Christian Manhertz with the latest one. Here's David Martin, the head coach of the Spanish team, worrying about these blocks and this great defensive play of the Hungarians. Manhertz, and that's the equalizer. 2 goals in succession by the Hungarians. 2 goals in succession by Christian Manhertz. And now, Hungary 4, Spain 4. This time an action shot goal by Manu. That's the nickname of Christian Manhertz. In English, like elf, if I would like to translate it. And of course, David Martin was not happy about that. Sanauja. Munaris. Perone. Exclusion once again from Hungary. Gergő Burian is out inside the last 3 minutes of the second quarter. Perone. And the power play goal by the Spaniards once again. Alvaro Granados finding the net, the back of the net for a second time. So Spain regained the lead. Former Terrassa player, but of course, right now one of the players of Barceloneta is Zsolt Varga, the Olympic champion as a player in the 2000 games in Sydney with the Hungarians. That was the first gold medal of that golden generation, which was followed by 2 more. Mohertz. Exclusion from Spain. So it's the number 12, Alejandro Bustos, who has to be out for 20 seconds. Jansik, Monhertz, Nagy. And Nagy scores! That's a power play goal. And Hungary leveled the score once again. That was attempt number 2 by Ádám Nagy, the new Ferencváros signing. Joined a couple of other national team members in the best Hungarian club. Before that, he played in Szolnok, ORC and Miskolc as well. Also at UVS in Budapest. Great finish by Ádám Nagy. Perone. Munariz. Larumbe. Munariz. Perone. 7 seconds and a shot clock at Vogel. Excellent save. That's a corner throw. All improving performance by Soma Vogel. Great effort by the Spaniards, but now they are losing the ball. So inside the last 2 minutes of the first half, the Hungarians try to take the lead for the first time. Ádám Nagy pushing forward. Monhertz. An exclusion. Foul on Erik Molnár. Larumbe is out. His first personal foul. So can Hungary take the lead? Nagy, Monhertz. 5 seconds on the shot clock. And they can! Ádám Nagy for the second time on the score sheet. 2 goals in succession. Goal from the power play. That was the steal by Christian Mohertz. Then came the exclusion foul by Mark Larumbe, and for the first time now Hungary have the lead. And we are heading for the last minute of the second quarter. Perone is fouled. It's just an ordinary foul. Still Perone. Munariz. That's a bad pass, and now Hungary controlling the game. They have the chance to extend the lead. Ádám Nagy. Vigvári. Burján. That's a tight angle, but he still manages to score. What a goal, Gergely Burján. From that really tight angle. And Unai Aguirre beat him for the 7th time already. Pass came from Wendel Vigvári, and then somehow the ball went in. Maybe Unai Aguirre didn't believe that Buria still would make the attempt. Actually, he did. Now the last 10 seconds of the first half. Munariz. Another block. And it's been all about Hungary in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. So that is the end of quarter number 2. Spain already had a 2-goal lead, but Hungary managed to win quarter number 2 by 5 goals to 2. So now they have the 2-goal lead against the world champions here at the Spaladim Arena. We didn't manage to score at all in the second half of the match. Well, this time they will definitely need some great goals in the third and fourth quarter in order to turn the score. Hungarians with almost a perfect defensive play so far. Now this is swim off number 3. Martin Famera reached the ball first, so 2-1 in the sprints for the Spaniards, but 7-5 the score for Hungary. Munariz. Sanauja. Famera. Sanauja. Bernard Sanauja. And this way it's a corner throw. Well, Soma Fogel could have been more unlucky. Actually, this was a slight touch by him, so that was saved by Fogel. But now the first extrusion foul of quarter number 3. Captain Szilárd Jancsik is out. And Spain in the power play now. Sanauja. And a one-timer, and this time the Spaniards turned to be lucky after the shot by Alvaro Granados. It looked like the crossbar saved Hungary. But it was still a goal, almost a save by Soma Fogel. That was just inside. So the Spaniards reduced the gap. And Alvaro Granados, who missed that 5-meter penalty in the first quarter, now the top scorer of the Spanish team, scoring 3 times. Konarik. Vigvári. Monherz, Konarik. Exclusion from Spain. So Martin Famera is out. His first personal foul. At this time, Aguirre makes the save comfortably. Wendel Vigvári with the attempt. Whose younger brother, Vince, is also a professional Waterpolo player of UVS in Budapest. Munariz. So Ákos Konarik is out now. 6-on-5 for Spain. Chance to make an equalizer. Perone. And the right post saved Hungary, but they have the rebound, the Spaniards. Sergi Cabañas was denied, and now saved by Fogel. And it's already 6-on-6, so no more power play. Hungarian fans are chanting the name of Soma Fogel, the Ferencváros goalkeeper. Perone. Perone was not fouled. He just lost the ball. Another great defensive play by the Hungarians, and they still have the lead. That was the latest save by Soma Fogel after the attempt of Roger Tahul. Vigvári. Zalánki. Vigvári. Now Angyal is fouled. No shots at all this time in the Hungarian offensive play. They haven't scored yet in the third quarter, but they still have the lead. Aguirre. Cabañas. Larumbe, Cabañas. Larumbe and Fogel. Save number 6 by the Hungarian goalkeeper. That's a corner throw. Munariz. And the Dutch referee has spotted another exclusion foul. So Molnár is out now from the Hungarian team. The second personal foul for him. Cabañas. And Fogel with the save. Miguel de Toro didn't manage to push the ball behind the net. Behind the goal line, I should say. It's another missed power play by the Spaniards. On Hertz. Lob shot over the crossbar. And the Hungarians had that famous perfect lob shot goal against Montenegro the day before yesterday that was called by Szilárd Jancsik. This execution was not that good. There's still a goalless period by the Hungarians. Cabañas. Rumber. Munariz. Cabañas. And blocked by Mohertz. Who else? Cabañas. Munariz, but this time the Spaniards managed to score. That's an action shot goal by Alberto Munariz. Actually, Munariz had a total of 5 unsuccessful attempts before scoring this. But now he's still on the score sheet. So all even. 3 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the third quarter. Zalánki. Still Gergő Zalánki, who leaves the ball there. Angyal. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Jancsik. Another foul on Zalánki. That's an exclusion from Spain this time. So Hungary have the 6-on-5 advantage, and Zsolt Varga calls for a timeout for the first time in this match.
Egyesbe megy a Gergő, kettesbe megy az Alex. Hármasba megy az Ákos, négyesbe megy a Manó. Oké? Rövidfa a Gergő. Oké? Fekete Gergő. Oké? Hosszúfa Ádám. Mozogjátok belekám! 15 másodperc!
So that's gonna be an extra play advantage for Hungary. He's Zsolt Varga, who is also the coach of Ferencváros, the team which managed to win the Hungarian championship title, and they finished as bronze medalists in the Champions League. Now the chance for Hungary to regain the lead. Zaraki. Mohertz. Great block by the Spaniards, but the Hungarians still have the possession. No more power play. Aguirre makes the save. The angle was so tight that it was this time a mission impossible for Gergely Burian to do the same as in the second quarter. Larumbe. Exclusion, but there's a steal by the Hungarians. That was an exclusion from the Hungarian team. Konarik was out, but out came the goalkeeper, Soma Fogel. And the Hungarians managed to grab the ball. What a match here at the Spaladi Marina. Dear Waterpolo fans. 7-all in the rematch of the 2020 final. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Zaraki. This is the target once again. 4 attempts so far by Zaraki, no goals by the Hungarian number 7. And no goals by the Hungarians at all in the third quarter. Larumbe. And that's another steal. Great job by the captain, Szilárd Jancsik. And now we are inside the last minute of quarter number 3. Szilárd Jancsik is pushing forward. Still Jancsik. Tries to do something. No call. Now the free throw. There's the exclusion foul. Alejandro Bustos is out for the second time. Another power play for Hungary. They missed the last 2 situations like that. Burian. Jancsik. Mohertz. And Mohertz only manages to hit the crossbar. 3 missed power plays in succession by the Hungarians. The last 3 minutes, one last save in the third quarter by Soma Fogel. That was number 8 by him. So, only 2 Spanish goals in the third quarter. Hungary haven't managed to score at all. And that means all even right before the last quarter in the first semi-final at the men's tournament. Unai Aguirre with 8 saves to his name. Both goalkeepers stand on 53.3% in the save efficiency. Just injured right before the start of the European Championship, so he's not here either. But the Hungarians are still in this contest. And anything is possible here in the first semi-final. So there's the last swim off. And it was very tight, but in the end, Martin Famera once again reached the ball first. Cabañas. Larumbe. Larumbe, 4 seconds on the shot clock, and Fogel with save number 9. So it's still 7-all. between Spain and Hungary. Monherz. Now the pass forward. Vigvari. Exclusion from Spain. The first exclusion foul of the last quarter. Larumbe is out for 20 seconds. And this is the second personal foul for Marc Larumbe. Vigvari. Monherz. Zolanki. That is a great move. An almost perfect power play, but in the end, Szilárd Jánsik denied. Saved by Aguirre with the help of the crossbar. So it's still 7-all. Now the counter-attack, and the shot goes over the crossbar. And the referee spotted a turnover foul, so Spain win back possession. Granados. Perone. Granados. Cabañas. Back to Álvaro Granados. They still have time, 12 seconds on the shot clock. Cabañas. That's an easy save by Schoma Vogel. And one of the Spanish players is left behind, so it could be a 6-on-5 situation. And I'm not pushing forward. Zolanki. And Zolanki scores for the first time. And Hungary regained the lead, for the joy of the Hungarian supporters. So that was attempt number 5 by Zolanki. That was a really powerful shot into the net. No chance at all for Aguirre. And that's an action shot goal. So now Hungary 8, Spain 7. And this is the first goal by the Hungarians in the second half of the game. Munaris. Bustos. Larumbe. So it's the Hungarian number 4, Ákos Konarik. He's out of the game. There's the final exclusion. He won't be allowed to return to the pool. Now the power play for Spain. Perone. And another great block by the Hungarians, and they have the possession. Álvaro Granados is attempt number 8 in the match. But he remains on 3 goals. 10 blocked shots by Hungary. That's amazing. Monherz. Now turnover foul. Still 8-7. Nigeria passes the ball to Alberto Munaris. And Larumbe loses the ball. Adam Nagy stole it from the Spaniards. That's a great match so far by Adam Nagy, the new Ferencváros signing. Angyal. And that's a surprise shot into the net. And Adam Nagy with his match of his career so far, I have to say. And it's a 2-goal lead once again for Hungary. And timeout called by David Martin.
uno, por favor. Calma, Álvaro, estás muy lejos. Este lanzamiento, balón a uno. Paciencia, que vamos con la papa y queremos chutar contra 4 brazos. ¿Vale? En defensa, si cantamos M, todo ratas en entrada de 4, ¿vale? El de -4 agresivo con el de 3 y recogemos ahí, ¿vale? Hay que sacarnos fusión con Roger. Mucho partido. Roger, Marc, mira, Barnat, 1-2.
And he's the leader, the mental leader of the Spanish team. Not only David Martin, the head coach, but also the great captain, the veteran player of the Spanish team, Felipe Perone, who tries to enthusiast the teammates. He's been so many times in situations like that, Felipe Perone. If there's someone who knows how to come back from these situations, from these positions, then it's him. Munariz. And the Spaniards have the power play. And it's actually Adam Nagy who swims out for 20 seconds. His first major foul. Perone. Sanahuja. Munariz. Perone. And Vogel with the save. Well, it's being reviewed in the VR system, so it looked like that was a save by Vogel. And the ball was not inside for sure. So we are heading for the last 3 minutes of the game. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Fekete. And another goal by the Hungarians, and it's number 10 already. 3 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Another action shot goal. And Erik Molnar. That's his first goal today. And goal number 3 by Molnar in the tournament. Another player of Ferencváros who makes it 10-7 for Hungary. So that's not a mission impossible for Spain to come back from here, but they need the perfect last 3 minutes, both defensively and offensively. Sanahuja, Munariz, Perone. Only a free throw. Munariz, Sanahuja, Alberto Munariz, Sanahuja, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Sanahuja with the attempt and another block. If I'm right, it's number 11 by the Hungarians. Daniel Angyal made the block. And this time the Hungarians decide rather to keep the ball until the very end of this offensive play. Aguirre made the save, but now we are inside the last 2 minutes. The Spaniards need 3 goals. And of course they can't concede any more in the match. Sanahuja. Actually, they need some quick goals. It's not only a free throw, but an exclusion foul. So Molnar is out. And Molnar is out of the game as well. Another Hungarian player, this time Daniel Angyal, is excluded. He's also out. The third Hungarian player who is ejected. But it was 6-on-4, but the Spaniards still didn't manage to find the back of the net. Gergő Burian with the latest block. Still 10-7. Jansik. Fekete. That's a turnover foul, but only 58 seconds to go. And that's already a mission impossible for Spain. They try to score at least a consolation goal. Alberto Munariz is pushing forward, but the Hungarian fans are already singing and celebrating on the stands. In 2 days' time, it's gonna be Hungary, one of the two participants in the final of the men's tournament. Gergely Burian is out now, and there's the consolation goal for Spain. Miguel de Toro makes it 10-8. But only 34 seconds remaining on the clock, and the Spaniards are trailing by 2 goals. David Martin already knows that his team this time will only play for the 3rd place on Saturday here at the Spaladim Arena. Jansik. Szilárd Jansik keeping the ball. Now he passes to Gergely Zalanki in the last 12 seconds in the match. Still Zalanki. Well, a fantastic defensive play. I have to say that I've been really passionate about water polo since my childhood. That means more than 4 years, I have to tell you. But so an impressive defensive play, which was shown by the Hungarians today, I've seen just maybe a few times in my career. That was almost perfect by the team of Zsolt Varga. Soma Fogel also making some spectacular saves. He finished on a 60% save efficiency, 12 saves out of 20 attempts on his goal. Also great performance by Aguirre on the other side, making 10 saves, but a well-deserved victory for the Hungarians. After the 7th place on home soil earlier this summer at the World Championships, they go to the final. And the world champion Spain now will battle for the bronze medal in 2 days' time. So we are waiting, of course, for the full-time statistics, and the question is, who's going to be the opponent? The team of Zsolt Varga will play against either Croatia, the host team, or Italy, the Sette Bello. That will be the second semi-final starting at 8:30 local time here at the Spaladim Arena.